All aboard, Stunna, all aboard. I don't know about you, Mohan, but I'm excited to see whether or not ENCE can continue all the success that we saw from them in 2018 here to the start of this 2019th year.
Of the Earth. Can you believe that the Earth is 2019 years old?
So old, Mohan.
Pretty amazing. Wow, we've come so far.
We're flying into it. I'm glad that they talked about the interview with Major on the hltv.org website, because it was in that interview that he mentioned, the biggest thing that they were able to accomplish during their 7 days of practice as a team with YAM is including a op-heavy game style into their strategies. That's not something they had when Xantares was on this lineup, and now they think that they have gone ahead and thrown it forward. Obviously, the Betway odds will favor ENCE Esports, as they should. This is the more experienced team, it is the heavier hitting team, and the more recently successful team as well. So, we'll give them the edge. But, do we give them the map? Well, that's up to X-Space Soldiers to prove.
I think we can. I would give them the map as well. I think, this is definitely ENCE's game to lose. As much as intensive as the practice that Space Soldiers have gotten in, as big as they've been talking about themselves, I think they've still got, so much ground to make up for to even be on the same plane as ENCE, especially after losing Xantares. It's just such a big loss for any roster in the world. So this is going to be tough. Major here from the back lines with the USP getting a lot of damage in. It's not going to be a kill to come out of it, but the rotates have arrived.
Boy.
Oh my God, okay.
The rotates have arrived, and then they're all dead. I mean, the damage is there for ENCE. Check your scoreboard here, folks. I mean, that is dangerously low on 3 of the 5 surviving members from ENCE.
Yam, like, what have I gotten myself into?
Never mind, guys. I don't know if I want a part of this caboose, but hell, he'll get Aerial at the very least. Now he's going to be hunted down by Alu, and he too turned away. So a consolation prize that comes. Ooh, and goes. There you have it. Sergey to finish the frags. That is ENCE to the board early on.
Pretty easy stuff for them. Run down the lower ramp, get the bomb down in the site, crush the rotates in the Z rotator position, and then allow Major to sit at the back lanes, fire off as many shots as you want to. As long as he's isolated, he's not going to be a huge threat. There it is, Aerial. Just putting them all to sleep. Very nice stuff from him. And yeah, for some consolation kills in the end. Cute stuff for the exits. Why not? Pistols aplenty for X-Space Soldiers. They've got only USPs, no upgrades, as Alu is quickly making his way down to Hell, spotting Ivy, and eventually clearing out Camera and back bomb. No CTs in sight.
That's fine. All they want to do is rack up that cash. Through the smoke, the damage is done. Alexi gets a bit of a response back. Alu's being tapped, and he doesn't know where from.
Look at that. So they've just held all these rotates, and they even have Alu to circumvent the defense in Old Bomb with the MAC-10, but being very aggressive because they've got the UMPs, they've got the MAC-10. They want to funnel as many kills as possible into the SMGs, and they have done that successfully.
I don't think Alu let go of the W key. He was just stampeding forward, wanted to charge straight through that round, and obviously Space Soldiers, with absolutely nothing invested, knew the outcome was inevitable.
Yeah.
But yes, very good way in cutting off that rotation. I mean, even if Space Soldiers wanted to go for like a 5 versus 1 duel on Ivy just to get a kill, just to get something, it was so counteracted. So very smooth stuff from ENCE early on, but we have the buy. Yam, Glass Cannon, with M4s and an AUG all around him.
Curious to see how comfortable he'll look. Paz, though. Whoa, my goodness. 3 kills? I mean, it's ladder. The kills are not that difficult, but 3?
They're all rebounding off each other's heads. That was a bit of a blunder. I don't even know if Paz knew what happened. After the second, you close your eyes and just keep holding left click.
Straight massacre.
Yeah, so what a change of pace. I mean, ENCE, if they didn't want to let go of the W keys, they were forced off of it. Now, Yam, be careful, my friend. You are Glass Cannon, but you are also capable. That is Space Soldiers or X-Space Soldiers on the board already.
I feel like I want to see, I want like a Natu cam from the green room every time a round like that happens, where you can just see him get like Michael Jordan chest pains, like that meme.
His grimaces.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just going to happen sometimes.
Right.
Go ahead, try again. Why not? They've got enough money to buy. What kind of buy is this? They've got a MAC-10. They've got a MAC-10 and AWP and AK. P250 and Deagle. Diverse. It's a diverse buy.
Right. Diversity is the spice of life. Maybe this one a little too diverse. No scope actually hits the player in the back. That's pretty funny. But it does still cost EM his life, so no one's laughing for X-Space Soldiers. They've been pinched in both directions. Calyx, swift headshot straight through the eyes of Alexi B. And this puts it back into the 2 versus 2 as X-Space Soldiers stand side by side. Shoulder to shoulder.
I love these 2v2s because, I mean, as a CT, you wish you had all your teammates alive and everything, but it still feels 50-50. You just kind of have to decide, how well can I work with my teammate here? It's pretty much going to come down to timing in places, but can we play smart enough to have the T's come into our traps? We can see these kind of frantic rotations around the map to pick up lost ground, make sure that no lurks are occurring, and they've got the Rock and Calyx to stay in the most kind of versatile spot. I don't know if he saw that. It doesn't seem, he didn't, like, by the way he acted afterwards, it doesn't seem like he realized Alu was on top of the trains.
Now the utility definitely an indicator.
Oh, potentially stop that bomb plan. My goodness, that was close.
Dangerously close. Looking to clip his toenails. But it's not going to happen. Major, not even in position yet from ladder room, but he could come down silently. Just going to have to lurk. Oh, but he makes noise. So, now it's obvious. He's on the exit. Alu, patient and waiting for Calyx to peek. That one's too easy. Major flies forward, and in a 1v2, he's going to have to move quick and swift, or...
Got a smoke, too.
Right? Grabs the kid on top of it all. Now, however, he's caught with his pants down. Sergey, perfect timing. ENCE bounce straight back onto the board.
Pretty good stuff. They crushed outside. That was interesting because they had like a pretty awful... I mean, it was diverse. It was diverse, and in that way it was nice, but apart from that, it was a relatively weak buy, and there was a lot of damage dealt early from Space Soldiers as well, so it's not a complete loss in some sense. The setup was probably pretty decent, but the fast Ivy control is smart.
Yeah. Ooh, the artillery barrage. Ready to wreck.
Those nades are not quite that effective to throw them over top of Sandwich Train. It's a very tough grenade to throw properly, but if players come running outside off of a fast flash, then you could potentially get a lot more damage in than you'd like. But most of the time, your nades are going to go a bit too high. They're probably going to do 10 to 20 damage as opposed to 40 to 50 that you're aiming for.
And if ENCE even pump the brakes for a moment inside of T-Con, then they're really not going to hit their mark.
Yeah.
Which they didn't. And of course, then it is easily cleaned up. Swiped left to right, ENCE on a 4th. But as expected, I mean, I understand why X-Space Soldiers would go ahead and run that. The second round after the pistol, that's exactly what we saw from them, just this complete charge forward from T-Con. So they anticipate maybe a similar situation, and they are dead wrong.
Sure, and that's going to happen sometimes, but it's not a huge investment, $1,500.
Yeah, it's chump change.
Pocket change in the grand scheme of things. Ends with a 3-round
lead.
Thank you. One of the hardest 4-letter words to think of for some reason. And they've also got options here. What do they work on? A couple of players moving towards inner. Looking down, not because they're crazy, just to avoid getting spammed through the walls.
And also line up that smoke.
One of the most tragic ways to take damage. And Alexi setting up for a fast flash as players come out of upper. Major from the top of Pop gets killed, allowing the bomb now to cross.
Not always easy to pick up those frags on players mid-air, so props to Major for at least getting one, but unfortunately he doesn't hold back the push and that full frontal assault from ENCE long enough for the rest of the CTs to rotate over. So instead, they'll rotate out. Eject through Ivy and try to keep these 4 weapons, because the gun rounds are far and few between thus far, and they want themselves another try.
You know, we see sometimes that teams will throw this like a kind of overcomplicated, but they'll throw like a very elaborate. Thank you. Wow, you're my words today. They'll throw an elaborate fake, and then they'll take their time setting up on the other side of the map. And by that time, your internal timings on CT side will tell you, oh, it might be a fake, right? But here ENCE, they throw kind of a quick smoke and flash outside through ladder, maybe one over T-Con to correspond with it, and then that kind of sells the fake. It's still a cheap one, but they move quickly towards inner. They don't decide to walk down.
Yeah.
And I think in that time, there is a brief moment where the CTs can hear your footsteps, but because they didn't waste any time, that Z rotator isn't going to get the information that quickly, and they set up so quickly, they can even run out of upper with 2 players and catch Major in a tough spot. He could get a kill, but he's probably not going to get 2, and he's not going to have a teammate to help him, at least for that brief moment of time. And it's such a fast rotate for your Z connector player on CT side that it's all it takes is just a small fake to capitalize on his rotation.
Solidly done. This time Yam takes that front runner spot over here towards the B site, plucks one up the ramp, and shuts ENCE down for now. I think also take into consideration Major's position in the previous round was a great way to counter any ramp play. You know, like if people start charging forward, you're good. You have the cover of the ground ahead of you. Only your head pries over. It's easy to shoot down and get headshots in those kinds of angles. But a completely countered position by that upper push.
They've got 5-4 here. They've got a full buy up, and ENCE also have a full buy. This is definitely a situation where you need help, I would assume. Yeah, they've got a full rotate in. I mean, he's not even in a spot to play back pop. He kind of wants to play more close up since he has the MP5.
Of course.
So he should try to get comfortable if possible. Katowice is here to help him out. Very nice spray. What is that?
Just perfect. Spot on. Now the MP5 can just focus all its attention down on ramp. Alu missing a bit of a zinger, and Katowice grabbing himself the 3rd frag of the round. So excellent M4 work here from Katowice. The rotate is perfectly timed. I mean, there was that window of opportunity that made things look a little scary. It's why you bring up the need for that second player in the bomb site. And sure enough, just as he gets into his position, he cuts down 2 above.
Yeah, sound fundamentals for sure. And at the end of the day, it was, since they had a man up, just having only an MP5 to hold inner, a part of the map they lost so convincingly last round. Fortify it a little bit. If it does end up being an outside take, try to have your 3 players in the best spots possible, but hedge your bets a bit because there's a high likelihood it could go to the other site, and they made sure to do that. So looking very strong now. All of a sudden, that was just a nice 2-piece. I mean, even if he only got 2 there, they probably would have still won. They maybe would have won with less players alive and had a bit less to work with now. But they've got their full nade sets, about 2 to 3K per player. And I think they have a little bit more hope. Opening kill will be pivotal moving into this round to shake the confidence of ENCE. They definitely know what they're doing here on train. We've seen them pull off some cool stuff already. And it's X-Base Soldiers going to try to answer with some Ivy aggression.
Wow. Alu ready for it. Op v op. And Yam denied anything further than a peek from Ivy. Paz, however, drops bomb twice. Sergey falls right onto the corpse of Alexi B and is swept away as easily as the first. This is not the first time Paz has held down this portion of the map, and this time he's rewarded with bomb. So Ariel tries to fly back into this bomb site, try to pick up some pieces, and he does at least keep this equal in a 3v3. But how much more can he accomplish? Well, he's actually had some decent timing. He's snuck his way around the site. Major could be completely blindsided, most certainly is. So they have a minute to get this bomb back and figure out where Engines got off to. But he's playing in the smoke, and X7's already given himself away, reloading in the corner, making all sorts of a ruckus. Now that goes both ways, though. He shoots before the smoke entirely fades. X7 picks him up, and Paz, well, Paz is going to have to ace.
Yeah, he's going to have to ace, and but he's not going to have to deal with a lot of grenades coming his way, which is interesting. Now, he might assume there will be grenades coming his way, so he doesn't want to risk it by staying down there. He's actually going to leave the bomb with 30 seconds up, attempt to find a player seeking out the bomb from a wide rotate, and if he doesn't find that player, I guess try to cheat over to the site that he thinks they're going to go to. Here he has information on inner. He can make his way into Z. Oh. They're going to see that he forfeited the bomb, but now they have to consider where he might have gone to. Bomb gets played in a relatively safe position, but he makes his way out. He's on the bomb train.
Oh, and he gives himself away.
Yikes.
Shoots into the back of X7, only dealing half of the damage. The nade nearly finishes the job. Now Alu spots him, and Ariel seals the deal. I mean, had he immediately gotten that frag with maybe a chance at more information, seeing someone watch ladder, seeing the player on E-Box, or even knowing where the planter got off to, that could have been an astronomical clutch.
For sure.
But good attempt nonetheless. At least he started off the round with what was a 4v3.
Yeah, as sucky as it is that he loses the 1v3 and doesn't get a kill for it, he should have locked out the round completely with those 2 ladder kills, especially having bomb control. But his teammates just getting melted all over the A site.
Yeah, because of sneaky Ariel finding that timing and just blindsiding Major entirely.
Engine also played that smoke kind of oddly.
Weird,
where
right?
he didn't shoot, and then when the spam came through and a reload came out, he didn't peek on the reload. but then he waited until afterwards to shoot at a less opportune moment.
When the smoke is fading, which is normally the time that a ENCE player is most likely to be watching it. You know, you just want to confirm, yeah, he's not inside.
Yeah.
So, whoops.
Yeah, whoops. Just got to kind of like walk that one off. But another buy up. A couple of AUGs. Major back on the MP5. And he's got some support from the back lines. A better gun in the hands of Calix. And with this gun, he could play, you know, way far back and still be consistent and reliable support from a distance. Taz gets pushed out of position, but it's still not going to be easy to take ladder. It looks like they're spending a lot of utility to try to shide him off this angle, and it works.
Yep. He's still sitting outside of the door. Good for 2. Again, he's picking up these multi-frags. A trio comes his way. Bomb once more thrown into the dirt, and Alu has to clutch it 1 versus 4, but he's tagged up so swiftly and swarmed right thereafter that it's an easy pickup for Space Soldiers.
Dude, Paz is sick. That was so nice.
I mean, not even having to hold inside of ladder and still just as successful.
Yeah, he's really stepped up, man. He's pushed back to E-box, which is an angle that you're going to have to play sometimes as a ladder player, if you want to call yourself that. And he's kind of out in the open. Yeah, he has his side to a wall, so he doesn't have to like 180 to get multiple kills, but still. It's a relatively flat angle. It's difficult to kill people crossing out of ladder sometimes. And you also have the T-Con threat, which means that you can only close yourself off from E-box to T-Con in this very small window of movement. So it's going to be pretty predictable where you'll be standing. And yet, he pulls out 3.
Ooh, Paz, not covered by Yam necessarily, but luckily he does pick up those pieces. Makes up for it with a 2nd kill. Aerial once more trying to sneak his way into the A site, but Engine catches him on his attempt. And Alu just spotted a foot.
Think he likes feet?
I mean, I don't judge Launders.
He looks like he's hunting for it.
He wants it real bad. Yam has, however, picked up a 3rd. So good op play coming off of Space Soldiers. And magnificent op play needed by ENCE. Once again, Alu 1v4.
See if you can do it for the commercial. Minute up. Back to the bomb. That hasn't been spotted. I don't know if there was an Ivy push.
Nope. It's even tucked inside here.
Oh, it's tucked in, yeah.
Oh, I lied.
Oh, it's tucked outside, though.
It's an outie, not an innie.
Right. The rarer of belly buttons.
Is that true?
I think so.
You better be sure.
I can only use my anecdotal evidence of seeing maybe 3 or 4 innie outies in my life, but I feel like there are a lot more innies than outies.
Well, this clutch goes outie the window. Not going to happen.
Defenestrated.
Yep. What's that mean?
Thrown out the window.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Very specifically. I think it was a word that Shakespeare made.
Ah, the time when you could make more words. You know, it just doesn't happen as often nowadays.
He also invented the word puke, I think it is.
Oh.
It
Maybe
means
you
to throw
think,
up.
if you're going to say something like that, you better be certain, Launders. Don't give me this.
I'm like, it's like
haphazard.
Probably for sure.
Probably for sure, maybe.
It's a guaranteed maybe.
I can tell you something definite. These pistols won't accomplish much. They're being spammed, bombarded by shots. It's not just Yam with the wall bangs, but Calix on top of it all.
I would call that strat unconfident, where you have to like walk with your head down to dodge the spam.
Oh, it's called the beta crawl.
The beta crawl. Thank you. That sounds better. I like that. Ouch. And they still take the nade damage.
A little bullied. But they'll all bottle up at the top of the B site. Calix scoped in and ready. Major's dealing with the 1 threat towards ramp, and a little tippity tap at the AUG is good for 3. There's the 4th, and how about the 5th? No plant. ENCE come up empty-handed. 1 round now, the difference.
Not bad. I thought that ENCE were just going to run away with this first half, but Space Soldiers not only clawed their way back in, but look indomitable now. In these past couple of rounds, look very strong. Oh, in what? Indomitable?
No, would you say indomitable?
Indomitable.
Oh my God, you're teaching me so much.
You know what that word means?
No, I thought you said abominable, like a snowman.
Okay. Well,
which would have been something completely different.
Yeah.
But
like gross.
Sorry, I interrupted your point. It was probably a good one.
I think it was done, but I don't remember what it was, so I hope it was over.
Oh, it's over now. Not this match, though. This has been toe-to-toe, tit for tat. 1 round makes up the gap. from what was a fantastic T side. Starting to slow down, but still consistent in these outer plays.
Yeah, America's Most Wanted. Paz goes down first. So that's a key play for ENCE. They've also accelerated this lurk on Alexi B right up the middle of the site. Major, however, is here to trade, and so is Engine.
Yeah, Engine these most recent rounds has been really good from the back of the Ivy train, playing within the yard, making it really tough for ENCE and cleaning up these lurks. But now we're in the clutch. Young Sergey versus Yam. He's got a full belt of utility and a kit to boot, but an op of all things.
Yeah, it's like Batman without the suit.
So just a regular guy.
Just a dude, yeah. Just a rich guy.
Well, he's definitely got the money stacked on top of him. Everything he could hope for is still in his back pocket. Sergey plays the time here. There was so much of it. You want Yam to start second-guessing himself, and Sergey wants to be sure that nobody's going to walk out on him. The question is, oh, man, does he predict that it's going to be Z? And he nearly finds him with just the minute amount of timing. Sergey's going to get tagged by the nade, and he hears the footsteps. What a swift flick over. Gets that final kill, and will take the round for ENCE.
That was a crazy reaction. Even when he jumped up on the train, it felt like he wasn't done or prepared to try to hit the flick into Z, and instantly started firing.
Man, he is that good.
He is good. He is very good.
He's a good player.
Yeah, he's good. Solid rounds. So that's another one on the board. It got a bit close outside, but it felt like ENCE were as soon as Alexi hit that lurk kill outside, it seems like once they cross this certain barrier, that's when it gets too much for Space Soldiers to handle. And I guess if I'm Space Soldiers, I'm happy we brought it close enough that it was the 1v1. But now ENCE, even after they have that victory, they've got a worse buy than Space Soldiers. 2 ops for Space Soldiers, and 1 rings off. Calyx brings home a kill. Bomb's getting planted nice and early.
Yep, but at what cost? 3 versus 5, and so much damage done already versus Space Soldiers, yet all 5 of their members standing tall. There's the wall bang straight through the pillar of the windowsill. Calyx down, that's 1 of ops removed, and still another standing. Bomb ticked about halfway, and I feel as though the rest of Space Soldiers are waiting for Engine to activate this. He's easily going to drop Alu, and that's the biggest anchor of the 3 remaining ENCE members. But now it falls on only Sergey, and Sergey alone. Major inside of the smoke, going for the default use. The spam is there, but the shot is not. However, neither's time.
Oh my god, they don't have it. Whoa, ENCE, they pull another one out of the hat. Oh my goodness.
Robberies.
What's the money looking like, though? They lost. No, they're still doing okay. It's just Ariel who's a bit low. That's a huge victory. And Space Soldiers now have a decision to make. They've got 4K on Paz. Most players are low, however, so it seems like they're just going to save for last. That's tragic. That is pretty tragic. Paz is going to even spend a little bit of money to even up. If you got pistols, you still got a chance to win.
Of course. 2 attempts left here in the first 15.
Yeah, they go ahead and invest in a bit of utility. It's 1 stock that'll always go up. Oof. Oh my goodness. The HEs have been fantastic from both sides, I'd like to say, if I may.
You most certainly can. You've been granted permission, Wanders.
But can they take that damage and run with it? Engine's in a tight spot. If he had a teammate here, he could do so much more. They're going to hard clear him as well. Oh, or do they?
X7 with the spam. Now that flash comes in. That's the support you were just talking of. Imagine if Calyx could follow with another Deeg. Unfortunately, it is him that falls. Yam takes his place, upgrades into the AK, and we find ourselves 2v2.
Oh, look at this. Could go and sit back at the bottom of Ivy and try to play the bomb that way, but instead is going to play up close and pick his favorite angle that might catch somebody off guard. Tough spot to be in. His teammate is not exactly that close, and immediately just goes out for the early engagement. I don't know, did he call that too early?
Seemed as though there was a flash in the mix. Didn't make the mark. Major repositioning.
Major's got a powerful spot, because they can plant opposite side of the bomb and they'd be comfortable to do it, but...
He knows that Sergey was close, but both players were forward towards him, and that's a tough spot to call which shot you take.
Yeah, yeah. It seemed like he was like, okay, I'm going to catch someone holding W, and then hopefully they're not both peeking, but that was the case. Close call. It's tough to say. I think Major did flash for Yam to go for a peek, but the flash isn't going to guarantee anything. And in fact, no one was blind. You know, there's a player waiting at hell.
And based on that hell position, there's no way to flash him with a flash inside of Ivy.
Yeah.
That hallway is just too long. It cuts off the angles. So Yam finds himself in a duel, does damage, and imagine if that player's flashed. I think that's the kill. You know, they're trying to play proactive. They don't want ENCE to come pick up those pieces, bomb and guns included.
They don't have armor
to
make sure they don't get aim punched afterwards. So you can see why they got a bit frantic.
They were given a great opportunity, tried to make a bigger play, and came up 2 players short.
Previous round they lost because they didn't have a kit. This round will be no different. Not to say they'll lose, but they've got to deny the bomb plant. They also don't have much utility to work with, so retakes in general are just going to be less of an option. Yam has got no armor. They're at the bare minimum here. Standard 2-3 outside. No one's going for information. That's one thing I wish Space Soldiers did a little bit more of. Oh my goodness gracious.
That's not even fair. Yam spots nothing other than the headshot through his eyes, and it is all just engine left. 1v5 in the final round of the first half. This is looking like an ENCE double digits T-side on train, and that Launders scares the hell out of me.
What if Sergey's like 30 years old, but he's been drinking stem cells for the last 10 years?
You know, I never know what they get up to over in Finland, so
yeah.
What's Natu's angle here? But alas, there you have it. The final frags found. 10-5 is the half, folks, but you're not going to want to go too far. We'll have a break and the second half right after. A 10-5 half to the favor of ENCE. A great performance so far between Ariel and Sergey. We saw these consistent lurks out on the A site. And we saw some valiant attempts as well from ex-Space Soldiers. Paz inside of ladder, Paz within the A site, and Yam's opping has netted him 14 frags so far. Really fitting into this puzzle, but Is the puzzle going to be completed by Space Soldiers? It's going to take one hell of a comeback, and that comeback should begin with a pistol. They've headed out towards the upper box halls for now, and Alu already spots them.
Yeah, there's some tragic rounds in the first half, but I'm really impressed with Space Soldiers so far, even though they only got 5. It would be nice if they got this pistol and could make it more competitive for free, but they'll have to earn it. It'll be a bomb plant to potentially go out. Yam has that line of sight down the back of Old Bomb and make sure to deliver on the kill as well. 4 players up for the retake and a good amount of map control both ways.
Yep, these 2 players on the site themselves, they know they're locked into these duels, so the headshots start to come forward in a flurry, and Sergey's flank is fantastic. Look at the headshots across that kill feed. ENCE will take an 11th.
Nice, yeah, that was nice. It could have very easily gone south. You know, there's the bombs down. It's a little bit more difficult at that point for the CTs to get back into their angles, and the Ts can kind of appear and disappear at their will. And it doesn't matter because ENCE only lose 1 or 2 players, I think. 2 players. Who's counting? They won the round. And now they buy. In the second round of the first half, they have majority SMGs. In this one, they've got majority M4s. They've got 2 of the SMGs. What they did, though, that was special, was they funneled almost every single kill into 2 of their SMGs. It's going to be more difficult to do that on the CT side, but one of the ways that they can increase their odds of doing that is by pushing. So here's a UMP to get information at Ivy, and there isn't going to be a barrage of terrorists running through with pistols for him to kill. So at least know that now.
That hurts. Deagle shot from Paz through a wall into the brains of Sergey.
Nothing little stem cells can't fix.
Yeah, he'll have to rattle the bullet out from his skull. Here's the push down ramp. Alu blinded in the process, still able to regain vision. And here comes Sergey from the cubby. It's Alu with 2 and Yam with a retrieved M4, almost finding an additional kill. What a blunder that could have been. Mind you, there's so many rotators already in the bomb site that by the time Calyx gets there, he's done. A flank upon flank as ENCE grab 12.
So not totally ideal just because of Alu having to pick up the slack there, but probably would have been better than allowing a bomb plant to go down in that situation. Money gained for the other team is money you have to go up against, and so counts against your economy in future rounds. But here it is, a nice hold overall, and Sergey does a lot considering the amount of health he lost from that initial dick. ENCE 4 away from taking this map and making it look convincing, but before we get to that kind of conclusion, we've got a full-on buy here for Space Soldiers to show us what their T-side can look like. X7, after a flash came down quickly to Ivy, he moved into the spot almost equally as quick, so I wouldn't be surprised if they don't clear this. Ooh. He took a big risk by walking the entire way, and that smoke kind of changes things up.
Maybe he bails off of this. You can see the support of his teammate now gone.
This is interesting. So because I guess they see the 3 players at Ivy, are they going to go for T-Con control? I would like that. That would be cool.
Yeah, they have that 3-man wall at the front side of the A bomb site. They could go for the T-Con push. They could go into ladder room even if need be. The problem is now that the smoke is gone. Does someone come help X7? No, he charges. He hears the pins on the nades and thinks he can strike, but Yam was ready to support with the scope already honed in.
Yeah, so they trade. So it's 4v5, but they get both ladder and T-Con. So if it's going to be an outside hit, it's not going to be easy. What do Space Soldiers do? They aren't sure about this completely. They can try to subvert the defense and go for just a straight-up inner hit, worry about a fast flank. But with the bomb trailing behind, it'll have to be Yam to pick up ladder.
Okay, for a second I thought that was... you know what I thought. Major's out from above. Doesn't even need to pick up the kill. It's Yam slamming Sergey down. Again, that op pays off. 2-piece for him. MVP of Space Soldiers so far.
Recycle the guns, try again.
Yep. Why not? Give up a 6th round. You still have double the score.
I like it. If let's say Space Soldiers knew for sure, or they were 80% sure that after losing that, after ENCE lost that 1 player at Ivy, they would have had 1 T-Con, 1 ladder, or they would have just pushed and had 2 in T-Con or something crazy like that. then they can go and try to retake it, but they know that, number one, ENCE are worried about Ivy because they just lost their Ivy player, and they have traded for information in a spot they're not likely to give up because they have lost Ivy as well. So they're going to be thinned out outside, and they're going to be very far from a Z rotate. And if they do go inner, they can lock down ladder very easily. So we didn't see that ladder flank come out or anyone even holding it, I don't think. But you have to assume that Space Soldiers kind of had them showing all their cards. And I think made the best play by going in there. Made a lot of sense. An initial entry, obviously butters it up too. Makes it look a little bit more clean. But Space Soldiers, ex-Space Soldiers, gotta say.
Yeah.
You were saying that
I
you
know.
wish they changed their name.
Right.
I
This is
that'd
just,
be cool.
you're still giving free marketing.
Yeah.
You know? You like make an impromptu name.
Yeah.
Just something.
Because if they are getting paid, which they should be for the the free brand deal that they're
Yeah.
giving Space Soldiers.
You know, like Turkish Delights or something.
Turkish Delights, that'd be a cute name. I like that. I'm not so fearsome. I don't know if I'd fear playing a team named Turkish Delights. But
That's a fair point.
It's a cute name. It's a fun name.
We've got flashes up and over, smoke down deep. Alu's vision blocked off, so it falls on Sergey, and he is gone. Paz instantly tears him apart. Alu comes in for the repeat, nearly taking down a second player. But there's a man in close proximity. That's Engine just outside of Z. He hears the rotators, tries to run forward, and X7 will punish him for it. Alu also decides to move his feet forward. As he gets behind the oil tankard, Yam's going to extinguish his fire, and Major gets dropped from at the top of the train. Alexi doesn't even allow him to retreat. I mean, one after another, they've all fallen. This is a team ace nearly, other than from Sergey. So everybody's doing work for ENCE as they come in on the retake, but there is no smoke for the defuse.
No, he used it already.
Oh, well, there we go. Who needs it on an inventory? It's already on the ground. They're faster than me, Launders.
I would actually have been pretty mad if there was a smoke. If there was no smoke and that Molotov went off the door.
Right.
I mean,
Could've won the round.
yeah, that's a 1v4. That's a pretty easy 1v4.
That's why I was flabbergasted.
Yeah, it's a good reason to be flabbergasted.
I was just a little slow in the draw. Excuse
okay.
me.
We all have our off days. We flew a long distance.
That's true. We are not from this place.
But it's, at the end of the day, they keep 4 alive well and healthy, and they move on to this next round. Not resetting Space Soldiers. Space Soldiers still have enough to buy, but they won't next round if they lose. Important to note. This could be their dying breath right here. So hopefully it's stinky.
So that's a depressing image.
Hopefully it's a Wario breath.
This is it. All they may have in them. Good grenade. Yes, sirree. Calyx down to 69.
Giggity giggity goo.
Those low-hanging fruits, you just can't resist them.
It's a couple of blueberries hanging low. Giggity giggity, all right.
They've regrouped. They've reconvened. To the top of B, they'll go. Haven't seen much ladder play, actually, as of late. I like the ladder drops. I think it's always a daunting challenge to drop players down there.
Yeah, it's like its own mini game.
Right, but that's why people don't do it, because it can be pretty 50-50.
The house always wins.
Here we have it. Smoke in their face. Not going to have them resist the temptation to charge down into B, where Sergey lies in wait. He's got a chance to reset the crosshair, but Paz will still best him. All the while, Engine has opted to run down lane. He gets the element of surprise versus Alu. This consistent op presence in the back of the bomb site can always be good for dwindling numbers down. But he's going to try to wrap around. And sure enough, finds Engine. Paz alone. 1v4 with a kill already on him. He'd need the ace to clutch, and that's just not going to happen. 6-14. ENCE are on fire.
Very nicely done. Defuse comes out early. Solid defense and hold, and good composure outside to not rotate too quickly, knowing that there could still be a looming threat to try to catch players off guard.
Right.
Good stuff. Covered all their bases and had plenty of time left over at the end of the day.
And taking into consideration the last 4 rounds of the first half, this has been ENCE now winning 8 of the last 9, with that reset smack dab in the middle. So poor Space Soldiers or ex-Space Soldiers are kind of taking a bit of a beating.
The Turkish delights. The not so Turkish delights.
Right.
Not so delightful Turks.
Not today. Not here versus ENCE. Although you could argue ENCE one of the favorites here for the European minor. Coming out swinging so far. Aerial just over the lip of the smoke, and well, there's a man on the lip of the train. That's Alexi B with a double frag. Major tries to pick up bomb, but you've got a MAC-10 in the middle of the train yard. Best of luck to you.
Yeah. Get to the damn train, CJ. They gave it their best shot. Run down ladder, flash outside, a couple of smokes to make it look like a real strat, but ultimately the firepower is not there, and ENCE are just waiting for the opportunity to shut down a fast outside rush, because eventually a team is going to try to throw that at you, especially when they're out of options and out of money. Flash goes outside. Assists Paz and getting to Olaf, but the Molotovs are out, and then he gets killed. Alexi B from the back lines to make sure that no one can fall back.
Yeah, strong A defense here. Another follow-up frag leaves 3 players left for the T's. Major smoked off, can't find his footing into the situation yet. Engine just floating around T-Con as he gets peppered by flashbangs and stray bullets. It's not a fun position to be in, especially when you're already down by 9. And it seems as though all of ENCE could survive what is this final round. Engine and Major gonna try to make the most of it. Deagle and Galil is all they'll have to play. Smoke will fade, and at that moment, expect the push. The duel goes the way of Major. He actually upgrades into the Galil, but again, as we said, the rest of ENCE are all ready to rock and roll, and they have rocked Space Soldiers immediately in this group opening match. That's going to give them a pass into the winners BO3. And of course, that therefore pushes Space Soldiers down to the losers bracket. Not where you want to be, Launders, but they're not done yet. It's a long road, and the road's not over just yet.